So we start the second half with something a bit different. One of our local performers, Bill Pook, plays a hurdy-gurdy, and this is his contribution for us.
Hark, Triton, hark. Below, bid our father the sea king rise from the depths, full foul in his fury, and waves teeming with salt foam, to smother this young mouth with pungent slime, to choke ye, to engorge your organs till ye turn blue and bloated with bilge and brine, and scream no more, only when he, crowned in cockle shells with slithering tentacled tail and steaming beard, take up his fell befinned arm. His coral-tying trident, screeching banshee-like in the tempest, and plunges right through your gullet, bursting ye a bulging blackguard no more. What a blasted bloody film now. Nothing for the harpies and the souls of dead sailors to peck and claw, and only to be lapped up and swallowed by the infinite waters of the dread Emperor himself, forgotten to any man, to any time, to any god or devil, forgotten even to the sea. For any stuff or part of Winslow is now no more. Any scantling of your soul is Winslow no more, but is now itself the sea. Once I heard a doodle girl come down from Callao. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Doodle let me go, me girls, doodle let me go. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. She swung her hips, she clicked her heels, she winked her sassy eyes. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Doodle let me go, me girls, doodle let me go. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. I took her in, now that was again, I danced her on the floor. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Doodle let me go, me girls, doodle let me go. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. The mate was drunk, the crew was drunk, the old man had a load. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Doodle let me go, me girls, doodle let me go. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Once I heard a doodle bear come down from Callao. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Doodle let me go, me girls, doodle let me go. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go. Doodle let me go, me girls, doodle let me go. Hurrah, me yellow girls, doodle let me go.
Short and sweet, a bit something different that. Right, next up we have Lawrence Hoy from sunny Wigan, who sent us a couple of videos. The first one, he was hoping we could actually sing the chorus with him and combining the videos, which is something I like doing. But unfortunately the rule 6 came in, and just quietly squashed any attempt to get together to join in the chorus. But anyway, here it is.
Hello, Lancaster. This is a song called Shantyman, and it's got a refrain. And the refrain is Shantyman, Shantyman. Then it's got a chorus. And in the chorus, you've got to be proper sailors. You've got to get all of the oars and pull the oars. Or imagine you are pulling on the rope that lifts the sails up. And you've got to go, ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Okay? And we'll sail down the River Loon all the way to the Irish Sea. Shantyman. Come all of you boys and listen to me song. Shantyman, Shantyman. We're heading for home and it won't be long. Shantyman, Shantyman. Stand up, Shantyman, stand up proud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Sing out, Shantyman, sing out loud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Shantyman will sing us home. If you've spent 7 months on a raging sea, Shantyman, Shantyman, Liverpool town's the place to be. Shantyman, Shantyman, stand up, Shantyman, stand up proud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Sing out, Shantyman, sing out loud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Shantyman will sing us home. 'Cause all of life's pleasures are waiting you. Shantyman, Shantyman. There's beer and there's whiskey and there's women too. Shantyman, Shantyman. Stand up, Shantyman, stand up proud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Sing out, Shantyman, sing out loud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Shantyman will sing us home. But if you go with them girls in Liverpool town, Shantyman, Shantyman, keep your hand on your money as you bed 'em down. Shantyman, Shantyman, stand up, Shantyman, stand up proud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Sing out, Shantyman, sing out loud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Shantyman will sing us home. 'Cause the Liverpool girls, so I've been told, Shantyman, Shantyman, their arms are warm, but their hearts are cold. Shantyman, Shantyman, stand up, Shantyman, stand up proud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Sing out, Shantyman, sing out loud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Shantyman will sing us home. So if you lose all your money, don't blame me. Shantyman, Shantyman, just grab your gear and get back to sea. Shantyman, Shantyman, stand up, Shantyman, stand up proud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Sing out, Shantyman, sing out loud. Ooh, ah, pull away, haul away. Shantyman will sing us home. Shantyman will sing us home. And if you don't do the ooh, ah, well, you just ain't no sailor. Onwards flew the tall ship, like a great white bird skimming o'er the ocean, her sails reaching up to the sun, her hull sleek and low on the water. Onwards she flew, none could deny her beauty. The Baltimore Clipper, the finest ship ever created. No heavy-laden gunship could catch her, hard though they'd strain. What could be her cargo? Coffee from Brazil? Tea from Ceylon? Think again, my friends, think again. An ordinary cargo would make an ordinary ship of her. Fit her with guns, roared the Admiralty. But the weighty cannon slowed her down, made her wallow in the troughs, top heavy in the swells. Think again, my friends, think again. Onward she flew, swift as an arrow through the empty sea, her only god, the wind that drove her. What could be her cargo? Coffee from Brazil? Tea from Ceylon? Over the waves she sped, carrying her cargo of dread. Fly, white bird, fly, blow, ye trade winds, blow. Cry, black man, cry, all in the hold below. There ain't a laden down British man of war to catch a Baltimore Clipper, sleek and low. Fly, white bird, fly, no more beautiful creature ever was made, and I'm the skipper, so I should know. For to run like fury in the devil's trade, that's the Baltimore Clipper, sleek and low. But while I ram my pockets full of gold, I'll cram those black men in that hole. Fly, white bird, fly, blow, ye trade winds, blow. Cry, black man, cry, all in the holes below. There ain't a laden down British man of war to catch a Baltimore Clipper, sleek and low. Fly, white bird, fly, I will trim the sails and I'll hoist them high. Come blow, ye trades, set this fair maid loose, for to run before the wind like an angel's sign. And I know if I'm caught, it's the hangman's noose. Well, while I ram my pockets full of gold, I'll cram those black men in that hole. Fly, white bird, fly, blow, ye trade winds, blow. Cry, black man, cry, all in the hole below. There ain't a laden down British man of war to catch a Baltimore Clipper, sleek and low. Fly, white bird, fly. Lie on my side in the belly of this vile ship. I dream of my home. I lie in my own filth and I breathe the foul air. And I burn for the shame. Fly, white bird, fly. Blow, you trade winds blow. Cry, black man, cry. All in the hole below. There ain't a laying down British man of war to catch a Baltimore clipper, sleek and low. Fly, white bird, fly. Fly, white bird, fly.
Thank you, Lawrence. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John, and thank you. Thanks a lot.
Great. Right. Next up, we have Jim Saville, who's going to entertain us with. Is it a poem or song?
Poem. Plural. Are we ready? Evening, everybody. Shanties were work songs. In their off duties, the sailors would sit on the forebits and tell each other tales, or what can they know as forbitters. So here's one tale about a merchant seaman who'd been on a ship that blew up during the First World War. We left her, headed for Lord knows where in latitude 49. The cargo of deals from Puget Sound, and her bows blown out by a mine. I seen her, just as the dark comes down. I see her 40 still, and I hope them deals will let her sink afore so long, said Bill. It weren't no use to stand by her, she could neither sail nor steer, with the biggest part of 1,000 miles between her and Cape Clear. The sea was up to her waterways, and gaining fast below. But I'd like to know she went to rest, as a ship has a right to go. For it's bitter hard on a decent ship, look at it how you may, that's worked a traverse and stood a trick, and done her best in a day. To be drifting around like a 9 days drowned on the western ocean swell, with never a hand to reef or furl and steer and strike the bell. Known to tend her binnacle lamps, or light a masthead light, or scour her planking or scrape her seams when the days are shiny and bright. Known to sit on the hatch and smoke and yarn when work is done, or say, that gear wants reeving new, some fine dog watch me son. Known to stand by tack and sheet when it's coming on to blow, never the roar of Rio Grande to the watches stamp and go, and the seagulls setting along the rail and calling the long day through, like the souls of old dead sailormen that used to be her crew. Never a port of all her ports for her to fetch again. Nothing, only the sea and the sky, the sun, the wind and the rain. It's cruel hard on a decent ship, and so I tell you true, and I wish I knew she'd gone to rest, as a good ship ought to do, said Bill. That was a rhyme by Cicely Fox Smith, possibly the best, certainly the best British maritime poet we've ever had. This is another of Cicely Fox Smith's pieces. It's about a ghostly spirit, but let the poem tell the story. The Tryphena's Extra Hand. In the clipper ship Tryphena, swinging nor'ard from the line, with the trade winds blowing steady, and the flying kites a-shine. 65 days from Angers, with a freight of Foo-chow teas, there a sailorman lay dying, and the words he spoke were these. Many a year I've known this packet, and I've got to like her well, and I've not much hope of heaven, and I've not much use for hell. But, if so be as they'll let me, by the great hook block I swear, when the old Tryphena wants me, dead as living, I'll be there. There'll be one more at the halyards, there'll be one more on the yard, fisting down them thundering choruses, when they're frosted good and hard. One more tallying on the forebrace, when the waist's neck deep in foam. One more hand to sweat the topsails up, and sheet to Gansel's home. So, just off the Western Islands, when he smelt the land, he died, and they laid aback the mainyard, and they dropped him overside. Then they squared away for England, pulley-hauling with a will, but for all they thought they'd left him there, he sailed aboard her still. And the chaps as was his shipmates went the way as all chaps go, and the folks as was her owners sold the old ship long ago. But whoever owned her, or sold her, whoever went or came, the Tryphena's extra hand he sailed aboard her just the same. And he never signed no articles, he never drawed no pay, he never scoffed no victuals, but, by night as well as day, though you'd never know his coming, nor you'd never see him go, he'd be always somewheres handy, and it coming on to blow. And he'd stand by wheel and look out, and you'd kind of feel him near, kind of see him and not see him, kind of hear him and not hear it. And the funny thing about it was you somehow couldn't swear, though you knew it sure as shooting when the extra hand was there. And in port, when all the chaps had gone ashore to take their ease, and left the ship as lonely and as quiet as you please, not a blessed soul aboard her but a galley cat and you. Then you'd hear a sort of something, more than once I've heard it too, like a feller up aloft there, putting a round among the gear, seizing there another rattling, putting on a mousing here, and rum-tumming old tunes over, such as shellbacks used to know, in the good old China tea trade, many and many years ago. Tryphena's extra hand, Cycly Fox Smith. Now, in the modern days, we've got radar, we've got all sorts of navigation aids, we've got radios to talk to each other, but imagine being on a ship, you know it's going down 100 years ago, nothing you could do about it. Such as this one. Drifting in the Jane Price of Swansea, 30 days out, with copper ore from Carazal, and sinking. Drifting with a cargo shifting and a steering gear gone and a pump clanking on the whole day through, and the whole night too, and the water gaining, spite of all we can do. And no use complaining, and no use thinking, in the Jane Price of Swansea, 30 days out, with copper ore from Carazal, and sinking. Drifting like a log and lifting to the big green seas that crash aboard like thunder with a lee rail under, and there the water to our knees, and all the while mounting, and we've got past caring, we've got past counting, and the mates quit swearing, and the old man's drinking, aboard the Jane Price of Swansea, 30 days out, with copper ore from Carazal, and sinking. Gosh, what a feeling that must have been. Those were by a lady I mentioned, Cycly Fox Smith. This, I'm afraid, is one of my own. Because not all ships were sunk, not all ships were went off to scrap. Some just lay there tethered. And this is one I saw recently. And, well, here again, like the poem Tell It Story. Derelict. It would sadden the heart of any sailor jack, who after years away to the docks came back, to see a great ship that once sailed free, hawsered and chained as tight as can be. She who once danced on the bright ocean's waves, tethered and shackled like the meanest of slaves. Her mast akimbo, and a rigging bust, her decks and keel turned to powder and rust. He who knew her form in years gone by, turns his back and wipes his eye. Sadly he shuffles and creeps quietly away, afraid that he will be like her one day. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. And to bring this little offering to an end, I've got a poem by about John Masefield from the singer Bob Watson.
Jim, is this a short one?
Fairly short.
Okay.
Long and lanky tanker with a bridge work afters, cutting through the ocean like a lean sharp dart. The cargo of crude oil won from a shale bed, laughter to the beating of the new hungry heart. Giant steel container, travelling as a unit, moving from a lorry to a train to a ship, with but scarcely the need of a man's hand to touch it, right from the start to the end of the trip. Heavy-duty crane hook swinging from a gantry, long and snaking hose line from the ship to the shore. The cargo of new times have need of new havens, they can't use the moorings of old anymore. Havens of yesteryear turning to marinas, or filled up with rubble when they're drained after they're dry, just a turn on the wheel in the voyage of progress, the new growing old in the wink of an eye. Aluminium cutter with a man-made mainsail woven from the base on the flood flow's tide, as the venturous children clear their new moorings, the ghosts of the tall ships watch as they go. Handsome Tudor galleons raise up from the seabed, looking down the Solent to the Channel to the sea, and the last British coaster, with a spring-clean smokestack, does at offenders by a time-worn quay. Long and lanky tankers from the quinkering waters, homeward bound to haven by the estuary shore, blows a toot and a hooter to scatter the small ships that sail where the tall ships went sailing before. By Bob Watson. Thank you everybody for listening. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Jim. Well done. Right, time to screen share again. And we have Locked Up Together performing for us.
Mighty river, deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, which trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, your mighty river, flow, river, flow. From those cobbled dockside roads, you push the trade out past the coast, in mighty hulls that rode the seas, neath billowing sails filled by the breeze. Flow, river, flow, mighty river, deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, with trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, your mighty river, flow, river, flow. Your tide would move them out to sea, towards some far exotic key, where goods from honest working hands brought rich rewards from distant lands. Flow, river, flow, mighty river, deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, with trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, your mighty river, flow, river, flow. All shipping lines you've carried here, from Sydney Cove to South Street Pier, to you their colours burn and aim, their cargoes were what brought such fame. Flow, river, flow, mighty river, deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, with trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, your mighty river, flow, river, flow. This wealth is built of solid stone, a waterfront that's worldwide known, a monument to your life's flow, a legacy all sailors know. Flow, river, flow, mighty river, deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, with trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, your mighty river, flow, river, flow. You live birds, watch o'er us all, observe the rivers rise and fall, and keep the life flow running free, to aid the traders on the sea. Flow, river, flow, mighty river deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, which trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, you mighty river, flow, river, flow. Mighty river deep and wide, flowing out to meet the tide, which trade that's bound the whole world wide. Flow, you mighty river, flow, river, flow. Flow, river, flow. Flow, river, flow.
Thank you very much.
The price, how deep the water that makes widows out of wives. This is not fish you're eating. This is men's life. All clouds the sky, the boats are leaving. One last goodbye, dark waters call us on. The northern sea knows well the sound of grieving. How slight the fate we put our trust upon. Then go we must, no longer can we tarry. The waters wide, yet we must go and try.
Oh my lady, you were leaving on the morning tide. Oh my lady, I will miss you, as on the sea you ride, as you slip into the water. My soul will slip away, for I have watched your beauty grow. Love you more each day, but you're leaving, it will break my heart. There's nothing left to do, the earth will seem so empty after all that we've been through. I want to meet the morning tide with you, slip into the morning tide with you.
Hold back the tide, Johnny, keep me from losing my way. When the waters turn, my bonny, I'll shutter my windows and hide from the day. When the ship meets the river, men's hearts sail away. When we were young, Johnny, we sailed by the river, straight by the stream. You took my heart, Johnny. We sailed the same oceans, we dreamed the same dreams. But when the ships go off, I lose you, it seems. So hold back the tide, Johnny, keep me from losing my way. When the waters turn, my bonny, I'll shutter my windows and hide from the day. When the ship meets the river, men's hearts sail away. Stone silence and empty glances, trapped in the gap between heaven and hell. Cold tide lies heavy on you. The big ships are gone, love. There's no more to tell. The Queen stole your love when she waved her farewell. So hold back the tide, Johnny, keep me from losing my way. When the waters turn, my bonny, I'll shutter my windows and hide from the day. When the ship meets the river, men's hearts sail away. So hold back the tide, Johnny, keep me from losing my way. When the waters turn, my bonny, I'll shutter my windows and hide from the day. When the ship meets the river, men's hearts sail away. When the ship meets the river, men's hearts sail away.
Thank you, locked up together. That was very good indeed. Enjoyed that. Right, we now have something different, if I can find it. Dreadnought crew couldn't put together any shanties for us, but one of their members, Janji Brown, is going to tell us a story of the sea.
Hello, my name is Janji Brown, and I'm a storyteller, and I live here in Leith, near Edinburgh. I also lead the Dreadnought Shanty crew, but as we are not allowed to meet anyone indoors at the moment who's not in our bubble, it's just me and the cat. I was looking up stories of Morecambe Bay and Sunderland Point, and I was very moved to read about the grave that lies there, the grave of a young cabin boy or a slave who put ashore by his captain and left in an inn while he simply lost the will to live, thinking that he had been left forever. This is a story that needs to be told, and like many stories of its type, it's sometimes difficult to hear it. It's the story of a 12-year-old boy, J.B. Romaine, who was put on board a French ship in 1819 in Bonny, in Africa. He was the son of a planter, and his mother left him in the capable hands of the captain. It was going to be 36 weeks or more before he would arrive in Guadeloupe, where his father would collect him. Well, JB, let's call him Johnny. Johnny promised that he would write home to his mother and kept a diary. But he couldn't write for the first 5 days because he was so seasick. But then, when he got his sea legs, well, there was much to report. Fancy being locked down for 36 weeks on a ship. First, the captain, a handsome man who liked his brandy. He too had a cabin boy, a slave boy. Well, Johnny thought he was the same age. He couldn't believe how the captain could sleep so well at night. Well, he liked his brandy, but JB would watch him asleep, a face as still as alabaster. Johnny couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep for the wails and the cries coming from the hold. For as well as the captain and the surgeon and the 22 crew, well, there was 160 slaves in the hold. Well, the surgeon, that was fascinating to Johnny. This man was responsible for keeping the crew healthy and the captain and himself, of course, but also the cargo, the slaves. And the first problem was a bad case of nostalgia. Slaves were brought up in threes onto the deck for some fresh air. And three, well, they linked arms and they threw themselves over the side of the ship, hoping that the currents would bring them back home to Bonny. Well, the loss of 3 slaves, of course, was a problem for the captain. He finished his breakfast and went on deck, spoke to the surgeon, and then he brought 157 slaves back up on deck. He tied them into gangs. He flogged 3. He hung 3. And then they were sent back down below. Well, that wasn't only the first problem for the surgeon. For only days after that, well, as they were approaching the equator, in that heat, the young sailor lad who slept closest to the hatch, a wee bit of ventilation that went down to the hold, he started to rubbing his eyes. They were itchy, yellow discharge. Oh, and the next day he could hardly open his eyes. The discharge now green and sticky, and the pain behind his eyeballs, intense. And one by one, the sailors caught ophthalmia. The pain, once it subsided, left you blind. Well, as one by one the sailors went blind, so did the captain, so did the surgeon, so did young Johnny, until there was only one sailor left who was sighted. And he had to issue all the orders. The blind captain stood on deck with the rope and would lash out at anyone he heard not working. They also had to lock the storeroom, so they were hungry as well as working blind. And then there was a terrible storm. After, there was silence, apart from the lap of the waves on the wooden hull. But then they heard something else. Canvas flapping, more waves on a different hull. And they cried out, "Help us, help us!" The sighted sailor spotted a ship. It was the St. Leon. "Help us," they cried, "help us! We need food!" Then they heard another noise. Hollow laughter. The St. Leon reported that every single man aboard their ship was blind, and they had no provisions to spare. It took 36 weeks to reach the shores of Guadeloupe. By then, some sailors had gained a little of their sight. The first mate was sent by the captain down below to find out how the slaves had fared. 36 were completely blind. The captain said, "You know your duty." And 36 blind slaves were thrown overboard. For the captain was, well, he was insured for sickness on voyage, but not for landing maimed or blind slaves, for whom he would get no money in the market. When Johnny left the ship, his father took him back to his plantation, where a healing woman bathed his eyes with lemon juice and spring water, and young Johnny regained his sight. And that was when he wrote home to his mother. What of the captain? He was blind in one eye. The surgeon lost his sight completely. The crew, we don't know. And the slaves, Johnny didn't write home about them. So if you're in Morecambe or Morecambe Bay, walk up to Sunderland Point and pay your respects to the young coloured cabin boy who lies there under the earth. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of the festival. Bye-bye.
Well done, Jambi. If you do go to Sunderland Point, make sure you check the tide times. Right, the next singer we have is responsible in some way for this happening. I went to see The Fisherman's Friends with him, and we had several conversations, and he inspired me or encouraged me to actually form a shanty crew, which is the mizzen crew today, and of course that has led on to other things and eventually onto this festival. So this is Frank Lewis singing us a couple of shanties.
See the morning light, hear the puffins calling, ends another night off the Isle of May. Bright eastern skies, hear the puffins calling, white cliffs arise off the Isle of May. As the new day breaks, hear the puffins calling, fishermen awake off the Isle of May. Small boats fall and rise, hear the puffins calling, to the fishers' cries off the Isle of May. In the day's bright sun, hear the puffins calling, see the netlines run off the Isle of May, and see the netlines holding, hear the puffins calling, small the catch they're trawling off the Isle of May. As the daylight fades, hear the puffins calling, not much money made off the Isle of May. So turn again for Fife, hear the puffins calling, that's the inshore life off the Isle of May. No more herring swim, hear the puffins calling, inshore life is grim off the Isle of May. The bright herring is gone, hear the puffins calling, inshore life is done off the Isle of May. Who's the king of the fighting Dutch? Skipper Jan Riebeck. And who do the sailors fear so much? Skipper Jan Riebeck. And it's yaw, yaw, leave your hammocks, yaw, yaw, hands on deck, yaw, yaw, break your back for Skipper Jan Riebeck. He was just a little lad when he went to sea, Skipper Jan Riebeck. Now he's big and he's bad and he's 7'3", Skipper Jan Riebeck. And it's yaw, yaw, leave your hammocks, yaw, yaw, hands on deck, yaw, yaw, break your back for Skipper Jan Riebeck. Who sails all the 7 seas? Skipper Jan Riebeck. And navigates them all with ease, Skipper Jan Riebeck. And it's yaw, yaw, leave your hammocks, yaw, yaw, hands on deck, yaw, yaw, break your back for Skipper Jan Riebeck. And when he got a ship of his own, Skipper Jan Riebeck, it was brute force kept him on the throne, Skipper Jan Riebeck. And it's yaw, yaw, leave your hammocks, yaw, yaw, hands on deck, yah, yah, break your back for Skipper Jan Rebeck. Who bought all the tea in China, Skipper Jan Rebeck, and sold it all in Carolina, Skipper Jan Rebeck. And it's yah, yah, leave your hammocks, yah, yah, hands on deck, yah, yah, break your back for Skipper Jan Rebeck. Who can drink his weight in beer, Skipper Jan Rebeck? And who takes 2 baths every year, Skipper Jan Rebeck? And it's yah, yah, leave your hammocks, yah, yah, hands on deck, yah, yah, break your back for Skipper Jan Rebeck. Who sleeps with 4 girls every night, Skipper Jan Rebeck? 1 black, 1 yellow, 1 red, 1 white, Skipper Jan Rebeck. And it's yah, yah, leave your hammocks, yah, yah, hands on deck, yah, yah, break your back for Skipper Jan Rebeck. Who's the king of the fighting Dutch, Skipper Jan Rebeck? And who do the sailors fear so much, Skipper Jan Rebeck? And it's yah, yah, leave your hammocks, yah, yah, hands on deck, yah, yah, break your back for Skipper Jan Rebeck. Song is a captain shanty, and it's called Sailboat Malarkey. Sailboat Malarkey, tell me what is this good ship's name? It's the Sailboat Malarkey. Tell me, what is her name? It's the Sailboat Malarkey. Tell me, who built this boat? It's the Sailboat Malarkey. Well, Richardson, he built this boat. It's the Sailboat Malarkey. And who do you think is the skipper of her? The Sailboat Malarkey. It's Bully Forbes, that Yankee lubber, the Sailboat Malarkey. Bully Forbes is the man for me, Sailboat Malarkey. He's a buck on land and a bully at sea, Sailboat Malarkey. Them Liverpool Judies, they all give a show, Sailboat Malarkey. They waggle their arse with the roll as they go, Sailboat Malarkey. Them lovely Judies, they do love me, Sailboat Malarkey, because I never tell what I see, Sailboat Malarkey. And what do you think they give us to eat on the Sailboat Malarkey? It's weevily biscuits and maggoty meat on the Sailboat Malarkey. She's lovely aloft and she's lovely below, Sailboat Malarkey. When the anchor's aboard, we'll be ready to go, Sailboat Malarkey. If I ever get me foot ashore, Sailboat Malarkey, I'll set up shop and I'll live off a whore. It's the Sailboat Malarkey. Just 1 more pull and then that'll do, Sailboat Malarkey. For we are the bullies to kick her through. It's the Sailboat Malarkey.
Oh,
The Southern Ocean is a long...
right. Brilliant. Not bad for someone who's 90 plus.
Great.
Hope I can sing like that at that age. Brilliant. Right, next we have up a crew from Portsmouth, I believe. The old Gaffer's crew. Got there.
About the Mayflower of 1620, which happened on the 16th September. This is the old Gaffers, their own song about that voyage. 1620 was the year the Mayflower sailed from Plymouth Pier to find the freedom, to find the right, to pray as they wish in the bright sunlight.
1620 was the year the Mayflower sailed from Plymouth Pier. She was tall and she was bright. She carried the pilgrims in their black and white. Black and white, black and white. She carried the pilgrims in their black and white.
Master Jones and his 30 crew fought the westerlies to get her through. His 3-masted ship of English oak was smashed by waves and almost broke.
1620 was the year the Mayflower sailed from Plymouth Pier. She was tall and she was bright, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white. Black and white, black and white, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white.
The new world beckoned the Puritan few, but the passage was rough and it took its due. 65 days and 100 more, the surviving half took to the shore.
1620 was the year the Mayflower sailed from Plymouth Pier. She was tall and she was bright, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white. Black and white, black and white, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white.
When Cape Cod came into view, our Plymouth colony started anew. No king to command, no book to obey, just the freedom of our own to live every day.
1620 was the year the Mayflower sailed from Plymouth Pier. She was tall and she was bright, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white. Black and white, black and white, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white. Black and white, black and white, she carried the pilgrims in their black and white.
Now the Southern Ocean is a lonely place. Storms are many and the shelter scarce.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
Over troubled waters under restless skies, you'll see those mollymawks rise and dive.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn. Won't you ride the wind and go, white seabird? Ride the wind and go, mollymawk. Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
Now the mollymawks glide on those great white wings, and Lord, what a lonesome song he sings.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
He's got no compass and he's got no gear, as nobody knows how the mollymawk steers.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn. Won't you ride the wind and go, white seabird? Ride the wind and go, mollymawk. Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
He's the ghost of a sailor, so I've heard say, whose body sank but his soul flew away.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
He's got no haven and he's got no home, bound evermore to will and roam.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn. Won't you ride the wind and go, white seabird? Ride the wind and go, mollymawk. Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
When I gets too old and can sail no more, set me adrift far away from shore.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
You can cut me loose, you can set me free, I'll keep that big bird company.
Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn. Won't you ride the wind and go, white seabird? Ride the wind and go, mollymawk. Down upon the Southern Ocean, sailing down below Cape Horn.
Lift him up and carry him along.
Fire Marengo, fire him away.
Send him down where he belongs.
Fire Marengo, far away.
Stow him down in the hole below.
Fire Marengo, fire him away.
One more turn and then we'll go.
Fire Marengo, far away.
Ease him down and let him lie.
Farmer fire him away.
Screw him in and there he will stay.
Farmer far away.
When I get back to Liverpool town,
Farmer fire him away.
I'll pass a line to little Sally Brown.
Farmer far away.
I'll hold her high and I'll hold her low.
Farmer fire him away.
I'll bust her blocks and make her go.
Farmer far away.
Oh, Sally, she's a pretty little craft.
Farmer fire him away.
Sharp to the fore with a rounded aft.
Farmer far away.
Screw the cotton, screw him down.
Farmer fire him away.
Let's get the hell from Mobile town.
Farmer far away.
Lift him up and carry him along.
Farmer far him away.
Send him down where he belongs.
Farmer far away.
Thank you very much, old Gaffer's crew. Right, time for a break, I think. Is 5 minutes long enough? Yep, okay.
Yep.
Right.